Hey Mo, thank you so much for joining today. I know you're busy, you're moving. Florida's a beautiful state. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself to our audience?
Hey, thanks for having me here today. Yeah, my name is Mo. I joined CYDEO June or yeah, I think last 2024 summer. So that was about a year and a half ago. And yeah, I live in Florida now. Things are pretty good.
So, are you working as a SOC analyst right now? Can you go through a little bit of a process of what you're doing at work right now?
Yeah, sure. So I work as a SOC analyst level 2. I got hired at this beautiful company, work with Aerojet, Rocketdyne. It's a company that, has a contract with the government. And yeah, I'm a level 2. I got hired as a junior, but then I got promoted to senior. It's a pretty chill job, honestly. It's nothing, crazy.
So, can you just like elaborate a little bit? You said you were hired as a junior. Like, is that it's entry level job? And I would say it should be junior. You work for a couple years, and you become a mid level. Then you work for another couple years, and you become a senior. Now, like you said, you just got a job last year. It's just like, how did you just jump from junior to senior? Can
No, yeah,
can you open up a
100%.
little?
That's actually kinda on side you, but I'll walk you through that. But getting promoted in cybersecurity, at least to me, is nothing that crazy. It's nothing that complicated. Because now they're searching for so many people, and they don't wanna bring people from outside. So, when you get the job, yeah, you may get hired as a junior, but you're gonna get promoted very fast. At least that's what happened to me, and that's what happened to everyone in my team. So we got a bunch of people hired in the same time, and then we all got hired in the junior level. But then, probably in a few months after, when you learn the tools, you get promoted very fast because it's nothing crazy. You just have to learn how to swim. When you get that, then that's pretty much it.
Want to go back a little bit for from the beginning before you're getting into the cybersecurity field. Many people they believe if you don't have a cybersecurity degree from a college, it's very difficult or almost impossible to get a job. That's one questions people have in mind. The another one is you have to have years of experience, and if you don't have it, you cannot get hired, which is like kind of chicken and the egg problem, right? So if companies don't hire, how are you supposed to get experience? And they're always asking for experience. So, what's your opinion on this?
Well, this is what I thought first when I was trying to get into cybersecurity. I had zero knowledge in cybersecurity. I had some background IT, very basic IT knowledge, just because I ran a few cables, in the house and, just working for small restaurants and stuff like that. Ran
You
cables. I was
installed
like, yeah, I'm
Wi-Fi.
IT. So what?
You installed Wi-Fi, and you're like, I'm IT guy.
Pretty much install Wi-Fi, install printers, restart
Okay.
them. So but then cybersecurity was a whole nother world to me. And I was like, oh yeah, I'm never gonna get into this. This is very complicated. But the thing is, once I got to it, once I got to CYDEO, I got this session. This is what helped me a lot, honestly. I got the sessions with Mike J. I think that was his name. He was having this simulation session or something like that. It was like a real shift of a cybersecurity. So the threats were actually coming to you, and you have to, kind of go ahead and investigate it, go through all the details, and that would give you the experience. That would give you like this is exactly what I do right now at my job. Uh, the threats are coming. You gotta go investigate the IP address. You gotta go figure out what is the impact. That's exactly what I do. So no, I don't think going back to your question, I don't think having the degree in cybersecurity doesn't mean anything right now.
When you're talking about this simulation, it's our security operations center training. And one of the things that when we were looking into the industry, the biggest thing missing from the industry is like hands-on experience. And whether like I have this thing, I had a student years ago. He said, I spent $50,000 on MBA, right? I can get a job. I was like, it's Masters of Business Administration. He said, I can get a job. So I asked him a simple question. I said, can you recall your professors? Anyone who taught you business, they have a business. They're like, he's thinking about it. He was like, oh, actually, all my professors, they had no business. I was like, no, I think that's why, right?
Doesn't work,
That's
yeah.
so one side you have people with practical experience. They're not teaching because they're working in a company. On the other side, you have professors or some lecturers and kind of it's far away from the industry. I think the security operations center was important that we brought together to so give people like real hands-on experience. Whatever you do at work, you learn security operations center. That's I think important. That's what you mentioned here. I just want to give a little bit of background of security operations center. Now, how important is like a certifications? Some people they have multiple certifications. Some people they don't have certifications. What was your take on that?
That's a very good question because I thought about this one long and hard. I got Security Plus through CYDEO, because you guys teach everything about Security Plus, and then you pay for that certification. That was really helpful. But then I was like, should I go for some more certs? I think you guys also did the Amazon certification too. But then on top of that, I got the CAS Plus. I think having some general certification is gonna give you the key to the cybersecurity, jobs. But the thing is, having too much is just kind of unnecessary. And in the same time, if you have too many certifications, people are gonna have more expectation from you too. Like for example, I got the CAS Plus certification. That's a master level. That's way higher than Security Plus. And I had to I was not sleeping for a whole month just to get this one. And my time, Mayada was there, and she was helping me a lot with that. And then when I got the job, they were like, "Okay, now you have the CAS Plus. Do you have, 5 years experience? Do you have this? Do you have that?" I was like, "No." So it's good and bad. I think having the general one is good, but don't get too much. Basically, just get some general knowledge, about cybersecurity. That's all you need. You don't even need, that crazy resume because cybersecurity needs only, getting to the junior level, you need only about 2, 3 months of experience. No one expect too much.
So 2, 3 months of work experience is needed, as well as I would say Security Plus. I feel like Security Plus is like a driver license. I mean, you can drive the car. I mean, but driver license is not a huge deal. You just have to get through the process. Without license, you can drive. Especially for those people who's breaking into cybersecurity field, I think Security Plus is kind of it's like how do you pass the filter in ATS and application tracking system in the job websites. Otherwise, I don't see it's like a deal breaker, but you're not gonna get interview if you don't have it.
Yeah, it's just one of the requirements you need to have Security Plus. But even Amazon is good. I'm not telling you it's bad, but even Amazon, I feel like it was unnecessary to get it. It's good to get the knowledge. Is 100% helpful in the interviews. Like they were asking me, "Oh, do you know anything about this specific tool in Amazon?" I was like, "Yeah, I know something." But having the cert, you can just write it down in your resume, but it doesn't really help too much. But Security Plus is really, really good.
CompTIA, right?
CompTIA Security Plus, yes.
Okay. So when you're in the market, I remember there was a time that, we had big mass tech layoffs, like lots of unemployment was going on. It was kind of tough time. I kind of felt bad for people graduated in that time. So how was your interview process? Was it difficult? How many interviews? Did you have to apply like 80,000 jobs to get an interview?
Let
How
me
did it go?
break your question in two pieces. So,
Okay.
yeah, so getting that layoff was a very important role. It was good and bad in the same time. When they do a layoff, they want to bring I don't know how to put that in word, but they want to bring younger people. They want to bring people with more knowledge, not necessarily more knowledge, but with a broader mindset, right? They want to bring the new eyes, the new, brain to the company. That's what I think. So, yes, they had the layoff, but in the same time, they were hiring more too. So they want to get rid of all the senior people because they were paying them too much, and now they want to bring the salary lower. So that also plays an important role in here too. You got to think about it both ways. So it was good and bad. I applied about, I think, 1,000 jobs only through LinkedIn, but this is excluding all those, other websites that I went through, like was Dice or some other applications. Yeah, 1,000 jobs. I got about 30 phone screening or 25 phone screening, about 12 interviews. So that's what, 10% of 1,000 jobs. It was frustrating. I had to apply, I don't know, maybe 20 every day. And I started applying right after I got my Security Plus certifications. And I got my offer, I think, 2, 3 weeks before graduating. So, yeah.
I think that's a great mindset. It comes back to numbers game. I would say genuinely numbers game work. There are people they apply for like 7 jobs and it's like, oh, market is so bad. There are millions of people applying for the same position and you have to increase your odds to be successful. And the more, if you apply 10 times more, you're going to get 10 times more result. And it's no wonder why you got a job like 3 weeks before graduation. I think that definitely helped. Second part that I never thought about, the one you're talking about. Laying off was not a bad thing for juniors. Definitely, I don't feel good and celebrate for people senior they getting laid off. But I can see why companies doing that because during the pandemic, there were like a tech boom because of the couple $1 trillion cash injection to the economy, and tech companies were hiring in a speed of never like before. So it started with Jeff Bezos, double the salary of all the tech workers. Like if their salary was 200,000, you wake up in the morning, it's 400,000.
Yeah.
And then that competition went through the roof, right? So what happened is people, their expectation from their company increased in such an unrealistic level. Oh, I want to work from home. I don't want to show up in the office. Plus, you're going to pay me 500,000, 300,000. And now I think the only way to solve that problem was because if somebody already making 300,000, 400,000, I mean, with years of experience, their expectation will be so high. Kind of pretty high maintenance and low performing, I would say, many of them. Not every one of them. So bringing the fresh people like you, willing to grow, willing to put the hours, I would say, again, I'm not celebrating that layoff, but I would say I would have done the same. Is it right, right strategy?
Yes, yes. No, I totally agree with you, and I saw it with my own eyes. Like when I got hired, it was right in the time that they were doing the layoffs, right? So I was seeing all the senior people getting laid off, and I felt bad for them. But in the same time, a week before, they were telling me, "Yeah, we used to work from home. It was hybrid. We don't like this anymore. They used to provide us, food from home and stuff like that." But now I went there with no expectation. I was like, I just need a job, man. I don't care.
Yeah, I think it became opportunity for many newcomers to the industry. I mean, I feel bad for the people who got laid off, but also economy is competition. And if you do better job, if you're more eager to learn, show up, put the effort, I mean, every employer, they will choose the best candidate for their own benefit. So I think it started with Google, all these companies providing lunch, dinner, massage, dry cleaning.
No, it is like that. Yeah. We used to have in my company all this kind of stuff. We have a whole room just for, relaxation. You go there, lay down. They have a ping pong, but now we don't have access to it because COVID is gone. So,
So,
okay.
did you have any physical job before cybersecurity role? Like, did you work in any restaurant, anything like that? I was just curious.
Yeah, I had a long journey. I came here in 2016. I came to the US in 2016. I'm originally from Iran. Obviously, you can tell based on my accent, but I came here with like no English at all. I only know hi.
Seriously,
Yes,
no English at all in
no English at
2016. You
all.
speak perfect English.
I
That
was
is
I was trying to go to Italy before that because I got a offer from a university. So my language was Italian, and now I forgot everything, obviously. But, I didn't focus on English at all, and then I had opportunity to come here, so I had to go to this place in Virginia, Northern Virginia Community College. I don't know if you heard about it.
Nova. I used to try
Nova.
to get in. I couldn't get in.
What?
No, seriously, I didn't have money. I
It
know it's
was
cheap, but
cheap.
I just
It was really
no.
cheap.
I was father with 2 kids. I just didn't have time and money.
Makes sense. Yeah, I got the grants and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, that's where I got exposed to the culture and learn a little bit broken English. So yeah, that's how. But then I got jobs like I don't know which one to tell first. I was a lifeguard, Uber, cashier, server, so many different stuff. And then I got kind of interested into, running cables and working some what you call it low hanging fruit IT tasks. So yeah.
The reason is I think you appreciate more when you come from a job that don't pay you well and don't respect that much. I had the same feeling. Today I work in tech. I'm grateful every day, no matter how difficult, some projects are, stuff like that. Still, I remember the old days I was washing dishes. I was like, whatever I do in tech is way better than customers yelling at me. Let me talk to your manager, right?
I wish it was customers. My first job, at my first or second job, I was working in a restaurant. One of my duties was, cleaning the floor and, making sure everything is clean, including, the bathrooms and all that. And I came from a family in a mid class, so I never clean after myself. I never wash any dishes in my own house. I came here, I was what, maybe 18, 19 years old. And, when you're in that age, you have that arrogance and you're like, I'm not touching this. But then I had to break it. I was like, okay, I have to. This is all I got. I have to make money. I have to make, living out of this. So I had to do everything possible.
I'm telling you, it was probably the best education, probably a better education than CYDEO was cleaning restroom. Ah,
Just the
I mean,
experience.
think about it. If the ego is the biggest enemy of a person's success and growth, right? Some people, they can just overcome their ego. And now, from the middle class family, maybe higher class in Iran or back home, now in the United States, you're cleaning freaking toilet and somebody else is after somebody else. It is like ironing your egos like up to a flat surface. I think after that, life is going to be good. I would say this could be a turning point in your life. What was the turning point of your life in the United States? Cleaning restroom.
I mean, it's funny to say it like that, but I guess, yeah. But
So
this works better for, but yeah, I want to say it this way. It works better for people who are immigrant, because even if I was in my own country, I wouldn't be like that. If I was in my own country, I would be like, being more chill. At least I know the culture. I have some connections, some networking. My dad is gonna go somewhere, find me a random job, whatever, I wouldn't care. But when you're an immigrant, you don't have any family here, you don't have, any plan to survive. You gotta be like, okay, I gotta figure it out. So yeah.
I mean, yeah, I would say many people went through the same circumstances. So now I'm just curious. In technology, there's so many fields that you can choose. Artificial intelligence, kind of very cool. Data science kind of sounds like very scientific to me. Software development. Is there any like process for you that how did you choose cybersecurity in particular?
Interesting question. Yeah, I told you I had some little IT background with, running the
Cabling.
cables. Yeah. But I always thought cybersecurity is a whole nother world. I was like, no, I'm not gonna get into this. But I had people, one of my close, two of my close friends did CYDEO, and all they were talking about was like, good things about the community. But they did estet. Um, so I was trying to get into Cydio just because, I wanted to do this change in my life, just like they did it. They were making six figures salary in like what, in like 6 months or 1 year. And I saw that turn. I was like, okay, now it's my turn. I gotta do something about my life. I'm tired of this. But I was choosing between estate or cyber, and I thought about this long and hard. I was like, if I go through estate, is a, project-based kind of role. Then they do the updates, when they do the dev, test and prod. When they finish with that, they may, let you go, or they may put you on a pause or something like that. I don't wanna do that again. I don't wanna go out after 1 year and find another job. So I kinda did that 1 month free with Cydio first. I don't know if you guys still doing that, but
No,
then
we're
I
still doing it.
yeah, when I did that 1 month, they started from, "How do you turn on the computer? How sh" I was like, "Come on, I know that." But they started from ground up, and they taught everything very simple, and I got more interested to it. Honestly, it was just a test for me. I was not even trying to get into it. I was just trying to do that 1 month and go for something else, but I got kinda hooked up, so it's on you
Yeah.
guys. It's your fault.
So it's our deception strategy for the first months. We make it so easy, we don't show you the difficult stuff.
That's how I got hooked up. So after I couldn't get my money back, they hit me hard. They're like, yeah.
Yeah. After the refund period is done, gradually we're gonna increase the dosage of the difficulties, and then honestly, that's how you develop strong people, right? I mean, if you just too tough in the first 30 days, they're gonna quit and take their money back and leave. But first 30 days, it's like so romantic, go with the flow, and after that, we kind of grind people. But if you want to be successful, I mean, I think that's what you got to do. I mean, American education system make people like sensitive, and they're like a cotton candies, right? People from cotton candy environment, they're not going to be successful in life. So I came from a place that my government want to kill me. So I realized, you got to be tough in this life to be successful. I think that's one of the reasons I'm alive today, and I think that kind of reflects to our culture and the way we do stuff. But I'm glad that you. But I need to admit, I never this is the first time I've learned something today, like brand new from you. Like, if you choose project based, let's say software development, software testing. Once you're done with the project, it's done, right? For example, if you build a structure or building, a new house, it's a project. It's start time, end time. It's a project, right? So once the project is completed, and you have to find new project, you have to build new houses or new software. So constantly, there's likelihood that you have to look for a job. But if it's cybersecurity, since hackers are not stop attacking you after 5 p.m. or after projects finish,
Yeah.
they will attack you every single day, every single minute. They need you forever. I mean, I never thought about this.
100%. Yeah, you need to provide that, the safety of that. It doesn't matter where you work. If it's a network base or if it's an, software base, you need to provide that safety all the time. And we're getting attacked from all over the world. It's not only, in Springfield, Virginia. We're getting attacked from India, which is right now, I don't know, maybe it's 10 p.m. now. We're talking it's 10 a.m., 24 hours difference. I mean, 12-hour difference, right? So you getting attacked 24 hours and you always gonna have a job. But yeah, comparing to estate, when you finish the project, if your company is very good, very big, if you're lucky, then they're gonna start another project or they're gonna do, upgrades to the project, put some extension or something like that. Then yeah, you're gonna have a job. But for me, I just wanted to do something with lower risk. Don't want to go back to the interview process. Don't want to learn, all stuff from scratch again. So yeah.
That's a pretty important point. So now I'm just curious about artificial intelligence. You spend so much time and effort to break into tech, right? And first time you get a job as a security operations center analyst, now you're senior, I would say, SOC analyst. Are you disappointed? Oh, first time I get into tech, now they created AI. It's going to take over my job. What's going on at your work in terms of like artificial intelligence, implementing it, not implementing it, taking over your job, not taking over your job? What is the dilemma is about right now?
Funny that people think like that. I was actually talking to someone, one of my friends, he asked me kind of the same question too, which is a wrong belief. AI is not doing anything harmful to job demand. This is at least what I think. Yes, AI is bringing more ease to the job, but maybe for someone like, a coder or something like that, yes, might be a little bit challenging to find new jobs because, AI is doing most of the code, but you still need to be there to verify the code. This is what happened with CrowdStrike recently. They got the ChatGPT code. I think you posted it, right? So yes,
Yeah, lost $8 billion overnight. Yeah.
yeah, that was really crazy. But yes, AI is bringing more jobs, if anything. They are opening more departments right now, based on AI. And the reason behind it is we can use AI, attacker also can use AI too. This is something interesting. We can do encryption in 2, 3 different languages or more than that within each other. Like for example, you do base 64 and then on top of that you do a different recipe, you do a binary in there. AI can do this. AI can encrypt or decrypt something like that. So if an attacker can use that, then you can use AI to kind of decode that thing. So it's good and bad in the same time. It's good because it brings more ease to your job, but it's bad because the attacker can use it too. So if anything, it's just even. Nothing is changed. If anything, you're just gonna have like more job demands here.
Yeah, whenever I think there's a technology, new technology, and if it's accessible, I would say more than good people, it will empower bad people. For example, I would say AK-47 is a technology versus a stick or sword, knife, right?
Yeah,
But who use the most? Drug cartels, right? And it's empowering
100%.
drug cartels. I feel like the large language model, it's fascinating because I'm not very technical in terms of cybersecurity, but if I have an access to large language model that is have no restriction, for example, I do think Iran, China, Russia, and some other countries, they can deploy this kind of large language model if they can kind of, deep seek and there's some conversation going on, looks like they have stolen ChatGPT training data, and then they have this NVIDIA chips that they smuggled, right? So when you are able to create unlimited version, unrestricted version of ChatGPT, which is like DeepSeek or a different model in the future, like very like non-technical people, just with a little bit prompting skills, now they can carry on attack. Used to be you have to go through this rigorous technical process to become hacker. Now like a punk But the LLM can
Yeah.
become a hacker and carry on sophisticated attacks.
100%. You can let AI create, a malware for you, just code a malware for you, but that's how you're gonna get more attacks. That's how we have more. I'm not saying that's something good, but that's how we have more jobs.
I mean,
So
it's
yeah.
also opportunity for cybersecurity professionals, right? Imagine somebody in China was like, "Hey, Alexa, can you create a malware for me?" Like, all right,
Yeah.
it's,
No,
I think
and
that's
we are seeing something like that too. So we work with schools here. Part of our job is, providing the security of the network for schools, and you have no idea. These kids are maybe 14, 13 years old. They just go on ChatGPT and come up with some random malware and they put it into the network. For us, it's easy to see it because it has a signature of the AI. So we can understand it was created by a punk, but they don't know and they think that's something crazy. So just give makes us busy. It's just some legwork every day. So yeah.
I would say then artificial intelligence probably increasing the needs for cybersecurity professionals.
100%. 100%.
So now, as a stock analyst, security operations center analyst, what are the top tools that you use? You guys, I mean, or generally, I mean, if it's not appropriate to mention about your company, what are the popular tools that people should pay attention?
Well, honestly, I think when you learn, let me put that in a good example. When you want to learn how to become a musician, right? You need to learn the notes. You need to learn how to play a piano, maybe. That's a general instrument to play. So when you learn that basic rule, you pretty much can dance anywhere. Like what I'm talking about is we use firewall at work, but it's Palo Alto. But you guys were teaching us, forgot what was that. It was a different firewall. But behind that, the basic and the logic is the same thing. So the tools, if you just learn the most general famous tools, you're pretty much all good to go. But we are using, firewalls and we are using some endpoint detection systems and just stuff like that, like log analysis, like Splunk, and just a basic tool. Yeah.
We do use in our security operations center training, we do Splunk, IBM Curator, CrowdStrike, and Wiresharks and
Wireshark,
Jira.
yes.
You
Wireshark,
think
we are
these tools
using it
are
every day.
oh, you guys are using okay. I 100% agree with you. I mean, imagine my son is 17 years old, right? And I hired a driver class for him for to get him his driver license. I think the guy had Toyota Corolla. So he's coming and picking up him for 10 hours driving lessons. He's not going to say, "Oh, daddy, when I practiced, that was Toyota Corolla. You're buying me Honda Accord. Therefore, I cannot." I mean, I think tools are very similar. If you learn a tool and maybe it's different company, but it's a similar concept. So if you know the fundamentals, you can use any tool you want if you have a strong concept, like a foundation for one tool.
No, that's exactly true. Like you guys are using CrowdStrike for the endpoint detection system. We are not using that. We are using something else called Carbon Black. And in the end, when you want to analyze the packets that CrowdStrike has, yes, the future in that software is a little, just different name or maybe just different picture. But in the end, what you're gonna get is the same thing. So if you get that logic behind it, okay, why am I going through this packet? Why, this is happening? If you get that, you pretty much got it.
Yeah. So let's say you got all those tools and hands-on SOC experience. How did you convince the hiring managers or people interviewing you to hire you? Do you recall any spectacular things that you did during the interview?
Yeah, actually, so with the company that I got hired with, I had 3 interviews other than the phone screening, but they were asking me all kind of questions. Mostly, they would not really ask you, "Okay, show me specific code of, Nmap, specific code of how do you do this in somewhere," but they want you to get the logic behind everything. They want you to think like a cyber analyst, and Mike J, I think that was his name, I keep forgetting. Mike J was, playing a very important role in here because of those sessions we were having. When you practice that, you're gonna start thinking like an analyst too. You're gonna get that real life experience. So they were asking me, one question was, what's the difference between, attacker, threat, and, the goal that the attacker is trying to get. And I had to explain it. I think CYDEO was telling us the example of a mall. that attacker coming from a back door. So I had all this stuff in my brain. I had the stories, already built up. So when it come to the interview, it was just so natural. I was like, yeah, I do this every day, man. Like I was just in a session right now. I'm coming from a session. This is what I did. I go ahead and investigate it. So when you get more exposure, you just become more nature in the job.
So you would say being in the SOC shift inside your security operations center and doing the same job every day, monitoring the traffic, identifying the malicious traffics as well. And when you have incidents, you have to respond, create report, recommend some suggestion to fix the situation, have conversation with you, SOC lead. And
Yeah.
because you have been there, done that, and it's not like you have to memorize it because you're doing it every day. So I think that's why when an interviewer is asking you a question, it came across very authentic and natural and convincing because you don't have to come up with something or memorize something. You're just telling like this is what you did. Probably that was I would say one of the convincing factor.
Yes, I think it's very good to have the basic knowledge, right? Like through the tools that the lab that we used. Forgot what the range force, I
Range
think.
force,
Range
range
force.
force.
That was really good because it has the lab. You can, actually go and play with the application. That was really helpful. But in the same time, if you don't know what you're doing, the modules are gonna give you all the description and everything. You're just following something you have no idea about. I had to do modules like 10 times to just understand what exactly I'm doing. And module was very simple, but I can finish it, get 100%, but I don't know what's the logic behind it. So I have to keep doing it. But when you do it in real life, you realize, okay, I'm doing this because of this, because my next step is this. So I think having the real life session is way more important than just this is another thing that in my time was really a trend. People were you guys have that scoreboard in range force. People were trying to get on top of that scoreboard. I was like, come on, that's not right. Why you want to finish 800 modules in like a month and in the same time you don't have, any understanding out of it. I think I did about 100 or 120 modules overall, and people in my class, they did like 900, 800 modules. They're still searching for a job. So, and it's been 1 year now.
Where you focus is important. I also came from Chinese education system. It is academically, it will give you like really, really like you get good score, always good score, right? But when you look for a job, starting a business, innovation, always is lacks the creativity. I think what you're mentioning is like having hands-on experience is one of the most important thing. That's what counts in the interview. Now I want to talk about a little bit about your at your current work. Many people think that oh, as soon as I've learned technical things, it should be fine, right? And I am very like pro communication, soft skill guys. I believe both are important. But since I didn't work as a cybersecurity analyst in my life, I want to know how much of your job is like pure technical, how much is, I don't know, like communication, negotiation, having teamwork, collaboration, becoming a likable guy, at work. What do you think about that?
95%, not maybe more than that. I think technical skills, okay, so they're gonna teach you everything from scratch when you start a job, especially if you start as a junior, like how I did. They're gonna teach you everything from scratch. You don't need to have any knowledge except basic English and have open mind. All you need to have is just, be able to communicate with the rest of the team because cybersecurity, or I want to say, IT jobs is all based on teamwork. If you can't communicate with someone else in your team, you're gonna have a hell of a day. Everyone's gonna hate you, and eventually they're gonna push you to, get out of the team. But yeah, technical skills, just have the basic understanding of, what a firewall does, what a next generation firewall is. That's it. If you know all that basic stuff, you don't need anything else, in the technical wise. But you just need to be able to communicate, and hear other people, like, listen to them, what are they saying, and be able to perform, correctly based on, your role. That's all you need. You don't need anything crazy. You don't need high education, or you don't need anything like that.
So it's interesting. It grabbed my attention from the beginning of this conversation. You have been smiling and very calmly, and you don't come across like intimidating or like alpha type, like as a lion, right? not being very dominant, but you're just cool guy smiling. I can emphasize enough that when I was showing up for some classes, I asked people to open their camera and I realized why they're not getting job because most of the interviews are through Zoom, right? And I see people look like a serial killer on the on the camera. I look at their face. How do I work with this guy, man? He looked like a serial killer, right? They don't smile. Like also the lighting is not good. Some basic stuff. When they say communication, they only focus on, oh, I just have to be nice, right? I mean, I think ability to listen, communicate, body language, even your lighting on your Zoom interview. And whether many people they have this interesting thing because many tech workers they have two like three screens. And sometimes when they join Zoom, they put laptop on side and they have this main screen like monitor in front of them. They would put the Zoom in front of them. The camera is on side. They were like, hey, and the interviewer is looking at this guy's chin. I was like, "Guys, this is so basic. Why I have to tell you this, right?"
No, that's really important. An interviewer can do that, and they did that to me so many times. They are looking at their screen to ask you the question, but what they're
And you're looking at their chin?
yeah, I'm looking at like someone's nose. I'm like, come on, man. But the thing behind this, you gotta like think about it a little bit more logical. When they asking you the question, even if it's technical, right? They ask me many technical questions, like code something random. I was like, I have no idea, but they don't want you to know that, specific technicality behind it. They want you to be able to communicate, even though if you don't know it, they want you to pick up your brain, see what steps are you following to get into that, answer. Even though if you don't know it, like how are you approaching? That's what important. So they're just monitoring your behavior if you're matching their team. Knowledge wise, I don't think anyone cares. Maybe just minimum, maybe like 4% they care. But communication, being able to just, join that team is what matters, at least
Yeah,
in the
I think
market right now.
once you get the basic fundamental threshold that a technically person needs to meet, right? If they're not there, I mean, there's no way to hire this person. Once everybody meets the basic threshold, I think one of the most important reason people hire is communication and culture fit. Because if somebody don't know like Python or like Splunk, a Wireshark, I mean, you can teach them. It's just like I can't wrap my head around. It's like it's impossible to teach someone how to drive. Like it's a technical skills, and you can teach anyone how to drive.
Yeah.
You can teach anyone how to use any tool. But the things that you cannot teach is like personality, character, principles. Do you take your work responsibly? Can I trust you? Can I give you my company's security? Give it
For
to you
sure.
and then sleep as a CEO at night, like comfortably, right? If I give you a responsibility and you're responsible for my company's security and I can't sleep, I was like, what Mo is doing? Is he in parties? Is he sleeping? Is he playing? Is he in TikTok? There's no way I can hire. I think that's the important factor in cybersecurity or any other jobs that we're talking about.
100%. It's not like you guys hired me to be here, but this CYDEO does, a very great job with this one because we have these little groups. When I joined, at least I don't know if you guys still doing that or not, but in that group, you have like 3, 4 other people, your teammates, and you have to do a project. You have to do something with each other. I went through, college and university, but nothing was like that because you're actually working through cybersecurity, a real life situation with someone else. And that gives you, the exact experience that you need. And on top of that, when it gets to the interview point, you have this real life, interviews. They tell you, okay, fix your camera, do this, do that. I was never told something like that. Even, I've watched, I don't know, maybe 10, 20 hours of YouTube video how to do the interview for SOC analyst. I was never told that, yeah, you have to put your, face like that. Yeah, even, you have to wear a clothes that is, matching the mindset of the interviewer, make sure we're, something not crazy, doesn't have picture, all that stuff. It's small, but you playing with the brain of that person in front of you. You giving it that, confidence to be like, yeah, hire me. I'm the right person. for this position. So yeah.
Absolutely. Now, in terms of many people, when they consider tech jobs, maybe cybersecurity in particular, they're thinking they can work from Bali or Honolulu, right? They're in front of the beach. And they watch this TikTok, YouTube videos, like shorts, somebody grabbing their coffee on their bed, comfortably coding. They have like something screens, something going up and down. That creates a expectation of, oh yeah, if you want to work from home, if you don't want to show up in the office, if you want to manage your own schedule and make $100,000. I mean, is that realistic? Are you working from home and drinking your coffee in Bali, or I
In
just want to be honest.
Florida,
Oh, you're in Florida. You're not in Bali. Okay.
yeah. Well, this is the influencer jobs. That what we seen on Instagram. Someone comes with a crazy, muscular body, and they set the bar like that, and everyone feel down because their body doesn't look like that, right? This is what the influencer does. That's why they get so many likes because it's something not ordinary. It's the
It's
same
unrealistic.
situation. Yeah. It's the same situation with IT jobs. Nowadays, at least, is not really like that. Like after COVID, is a little different. Maybe before COVID was more, remote jobs and stuff like that because they wanted to, keep people away. But now it's kind of different because if someone works from home, it actually costs more. They rather pay for the office, but people come to the office because otherwise people are slacking, they don't do their jobs, and many, many other factors I don't want to go through. But nowadays, most of the jobs are, especially for cybersecurity, most of the jobs are in person. You can find maybe like 30% of the jobs that are being remote, but nowadays everyone needs clearance and most of this stuff are air gapped. You can't even access it from home. You need to be, hardwired in. You're working with government. I would say maybe 80, 90% you're gonna have a in-person job. It's almost impossible to get a remote
Especially with the Doge, where like
with
if you're
this
not
thing.
showing up, you're fired.
Yeah, you're gonna get money until what, August, and then you're gonna get fired.
Yeah, I just want to. I know the remote job is very unrealistic these days, but I wanted to hear your opinion because people watch those Instagram videos. They have expectation of, yeah, I'm gonna get remote job. Is that possible? Yes. Is it higher chance before pandemic? Yes. Before pandemic, remote jobs was almost zero for me, like maybe less than 1% job. Still, it's good today. People are able to get like a hybrid job, if not full in person. In my time, I was working in tech. Like, forget about hybrid. If I can go home after Friday afternoon, like for half day, I was so grateful. People are having hybrid and they're not happy. I think it's just like a problem with expectation. Would you say, what would you tell people that is trying to get into tech field, maybe in particular cybersecurity, and they have very high expectation of getting a remote job?
Well, that's what exactly happened in the beginning of our conversation. That's why the layoffs started. They wanted to get rid of all this people with higher expectations. So it's not is the market is kind of shifted right now. They want to have younger people with a broader mindset, but also be able to come to the office every day because they want to have more teamwork. They want to have more communication. So yeah, remote jobs. uh, Honestly, I didn't care about it because I was in a situation that I really needed a job, and I was a point in my life that I was like, "Okay, I'm done. I don't even have money to, pay my car, my rent, or anything like that." All my focus was just to get a job, doesn't matter where it is. If you can do that, then there's nothing to stop. But if you wanna be like, "Okay, I have, this filter has to be, remote, it has to be more than 100K," then you might find it, but it might take you, like my friends, more than 1 year. So, yeah.
Yeah, I think when you have very high expectation, especially in the time that we have this very high interest rate period in the US, I think after 2008 financial crash, it was in the past like 4 years Biden time, I think since 2022,
Yeah.
because of the high inflationary environment, the interest rate was so high, it literally stopped economy. And I think that created lots of stress in the economy. And in this kind of situation, I think people's expectation should be like realistic. I do respect people, they work very hard at home. For example, in our company, we don't force them to come to office, but we don't have thousands of employees. We have handful of employees extremely dedicated. And because of the culture we set up, I don't work with people I don't trust. So everybody we work, I trust. If they break the trust, I don't work. So very straightforward because we're a small, manageable team. But for the big teams, it became very unsustainable because people were breaking the trust and abusing the system. Therefore, unfortunately, I would say this 10, 20% hardworking individuals, even they are willing to work from home, like very honestly, unfortunately, because of the bad apples, like industry just like totally rejecting this idea of like fully work from home. I think people should have realistic expectation. Either it's going to be hybrid or in person. If you can get a remote job, I think you're going to be top of the top, best of the best, which is possible for you.
That's 100% true. That's exactly what happened recently. We had the hybrid and slash remote positions, and we had those bad apples you were just talking about. They had to let the guy go, and after that, everyone had to go to the office. Before that, we were all hybrid, but because of they're being slackers, so we had to be like, okay,
Yeah,
now we had to go to the office. And yeah,
just imagine like somebody's paying you, I don't know, $100,000, right? 90, 80, it doesn't matter how much they pay you. Somebody pay you. And I think decent human with dignity would say, I'm getting paid for this. I have to take it very seriously. And unfortunately, that sensitivity is gone from the society and, people getting paid. I think yesterday I saw the new social small business administration, like SBA, director of SBA. She was recording in the office, like, is vacant, empty, right? It's like nobody in the office and they're getting paid for hundreds of thousands of dollars of taxpayers' money, which is kind of sad. But the thing is, yeah, I mean, that's what's going to happen when people start abusing the system and companies, countries, governments, everybody's going to start asking you guys to come to office. But I just want people to have right expectation in terms of if they're dreaming about working from home, drinking their coffee in Bali and while coding for typing 3 times.
yeah. But trust me, I mean, the job is not really complicated. Even though if you go into the office, it's not like you're gonna be on the computer, crazy hard. You're gonna have time to, walk around, stretch a little bit. Cybersecurity overall is nothing. It could be, something that fast paced, but it's really not because the attackers are attacking, but once in a while it happens, you need to, be hands on and, something big happens, but that's just once in a while. Like overall, it's just very slow pace. Everything is passive. You just make sure everything is very should be, and pretty much you're gonna relax for the rest of the day. So even though if you're going to the office, don't think about it, in a bad way. So either way.
So, well, that being said, with the people that are trying to kind of visualize, oh, if I become a security operations center analyst or cybersecurity analyst, how my day will look like. Am I going to start 7 a.m. in the morning, 8, 9? Like, what do I do? Do I have meetings? Do I code? If I get attacked, am I going to be held responsible? Like, let's say ransomware attack, I couldn't catch it. And am I going to get fired because of that? Maybe so many questions for people from outside of the industry. So would you walk me through of your like day-to-day activities, like how it look like as a cybersecurity engineer? I mean, not engineer, cybersecurity analyst.
I'm gonna be engineer one day, but yes. But it's pretty much same thing that Cydio kind of explains because when I got there, I was shocked like how fast I could, catch with every, step. Basically, you have, multiple layers of security. So if you don't catch something, it's not like the war is gonna break on you. We have multiple layers. There's someone gonna be on top of you or someone, 2, 3 levels higher than you that they always gonna catch stuff like that. So is nothing that crazy. Coding wise, you're gonna learn some basic minimum coding, maybe 2, 3 lines. That's all you need, and that's the only thing you're gonna need for the entire. You don't need anything else. Like just how to trace route or IP address in a firewall, and basically all you do trace route IP. How hard is that? So it's nothing crazy. The coding comparing to STED, comparing to like what software tester people do is I would say 0. But yeah, day to day kind of stuff, you just have the, early meeting in the morning. They tell you, they hand you the shift from from overnight people, and they tell you what's going on. Usually it takes like 15 minutes. Usually we just chill and talk about our day. We don't really do anything crazy there. But then you check your emails, you do your, regular task for the day. If there's any update or something like that, you got to deal with. And then after that, you just kind of monitor the firewall. If anything important coming in, the firewall is gonna tell you, you know, ping you. You're gonna be like, hey man, there's something crazy going on. You just go ahead, investigate it. The job overall is not nothing crazy. And if you go through CYDEO, you already know what's going on. Yeah.
So as someone not cybersecurity analyst, I was expecting to hear, there's millions of traffics going on, right? You have to physically, with a bare eye, looking at like which track, the border patrol,
Yes.
like all the cars coming in, the guys one by one looking. I was like, who is this guy? Are you guys right? So it looks like it's not like that. It looks like there's the automated system, and if something's suspicious, the system will alert you, and then you will investigate, isn't it? It's not like you're looking with your bare eye. I was like, oh, I find something, let me investigate.
That would be impossible because you're getting a million, attacks per second. So if you want to do it
Okay.
yourself, it's impossible. So everything is automated. I mean, don't get me wrong. We are using with maybe 25 tools at work, or maybe more than that, if you want to include the engineering part. You have to know all these tools. They're gonna teach you all these tools. But the thing is not like every day using 25 tools. No, for every specific situation, you gotta, use that specific tool. Like for example, we use AD Manager. Part of my job is making accounts, right? If I want to make an account, I have to go through, I think, 9 different tools. I have to make an account on AD Manager, assign a RSA token to them, go create an account in Spectrum for them. All this, all these different tools you need to use. But what I'm saying is everything is gonna be written down for you. You're gonna have handbooks for everything. I don't think it's something people can do. It's very doable. Yeah.
So though that from your smiley face, it doesn't look like you're burned out or depressed or anything. Is cybersecurity jobs, is that stressful, or is just like, do you have like night shift, like multiple shifts that you have to work in different time? How is the workload?
It's totally up to you. At least in my company was like that. They let us choose, if you want to take the night shift. If you were taking the night shift, you have some advantage. You get a little bit higher rate, and you get, some other stuff, like food wise and stuff like that. And they kind of make it even. I don't do night shifts, but I know people that do it. Workload is nothing crazy. Every day, because it's a team, you're not gonna be responsible to do everything yourself. Everyone, just balance the work within the team. We have a manager that is, just gives everyone task, and everyone is responsible for something. Everything is pretty organized. No, it's nothing stressful in there. It's just a job. So I was a district manager in a restaurant before. That's stressful. This is not.
Oh yeah, restaurant is tough business.
Restaurant is tough.
Yeah. So, I just want to bring up this interesting thing. As you mentioned, the night shift. I think in other area of software tech world, I mean, it's like 9 to 5, right? You have software developer working from 9 to 5, Monday to Friday. I think in cybersecurity, especially for security operations center, you have to hire 3 times. Means that 8 hours, 8 hours, 8 hours, like 3 times shift is 24 hours. It's not like after 5 p.m., hackers going to sleep, or weekends are like, oh, poor Mo, let him take off, bro. Let's stop hacking, right? I would say probably you're going to increase, more attack at night or AM in the morning or in the weekends. And I was hacker, I would attack in the time probably 3 a.m. in Sunday morning. I don't know. But, but I feel like there's more people needed for cybersecurity for that reason.
It has its pros and cons. So at night, most of the companies, they shut off the internet totally. Yes, we have people for overnight shift in case something crazy happened, but 90% of the time, because everything is off, nothing happens. But yes, we still need people just to monitor everything. Most likely they're just sleeping at the desk, but we still need someone to be present at the desk. But the workload is nothing that crazy.
So now I know that's not part of your. I'm not sure that if you're following the market trend, stuff like that. What do you think about the cybersecurity market, a job market in 2025, 2026? Do you think it's going to grow? It's going to decrease? Like,
Oh,
what's your take on it?
it's increasing every day. The reason behind it is I think. It's AI and the higher technology that is coming in. As I said earlier, attackers are also using this higher technology too. So the job market is increasing. I'm not applying for any job. I'm getting offers, I'm getting interviews, and I'm like, dude, stop calling me. I'm fine with the job. And they're searching for people. They're searching for candidates, and everyone asks me, what kind of role I should pursue. I always say cybersecurity because is you never gonna lose this job. It's just very stable.
One thing, I was talking to this one of the armed forces as training for cybersecurity, right? One question I asked the guy, I was like, "Hey, you guys are training every day for the physical battlefield. How often you get into like real battlefield?" Most people, they will never get into battlefield. They don't fight. It's like, for example, China is our adversary. I mean, Russia maybe, right? So there are a couple adversary for countries for the United States, but we're not in a physical combat with them. But the thing is this, they're attacking us every single day, every single minute
Cyber.
through cyber, and cyber warfare is every day. So I was like, okay, well, doesn't it make sense that you have to pay a little bit more attention if you're getting attacked from the cyber warfare perspective every single day? Of course, we have to teach people how to do physical combat, but we're not getting attacked every day physically, but we're getting in, like, in cyberspace. I think that was one of the point that they really, really convinced. They were like, okay, we want to get your training.
No, that's 100% true. Cyber attack can cost more than a physical attack, and the reason behind it is when they do a cyber attack, you're probably not gonna be able to perform a physical attack because if you don't have the radars working, then how are you gonna be able to, figure out the enemies coming? So yes, I work for the FAA, Air Force, and we're getting attacks like crazy amount every day. And if they are able to shut off one of our devices, like a backup device somewhere in the middle of nowhere, we getting $1 billion, you know, problem
So
over there. So yes.
think about it, right? This crazy time of we have a little hurricane. Like in Virginia, we don't have hurricane. At some point, like some hurricane was coming close, and Costco was under attack. I don't know that time people fought for toilet paper or not. I remember the shelves were empty, and people in like literally were like war, like apocalyptic mode, right? They're like as if they're preparing for that. I can't imagine like, our energy infrastructure, for example, our electric pipeline, our energy pipeline, they can like shut it down, which I think the adversary is just being nice right now. They don't want to get into like serious trouble with the United States. That is the only reason they're not attacking or hacking. But it's so vulnerable, so outdated. I would say that is something. It's artificial intelligence is creating more job, but I would say also the geopolitics of like we're getting into a very serious time in the world because of Middle East, Russia, Ukraine, China, Taiwan situation. I think it's going to increase the demand for cybersecurity.
That's 100% true. That's exactly what happened a few months ago with Microsoft. I don't know if you recall that or not, but when Microsoft Word had an issue, had a bug with one of the updates, they lost like millions of dollars just because of a stupid attack. So yes, people can do, crazy stuff these days.
So I know that we're almost out of our time, and you're spending a beautiful Sunday, with us here. I really appreciate your time. I'm just going to ask you one last question. For those aspiring cybersecurity, analysts, they want to get into cybersecurity. What is the career advice that you want to give them?
I'm not really good with advices. Thanks for asking, but yeah, I think, don't really focus on learning everything possible it's out there. Like CYDEO is gonna try to teach you everything, like a million tools, like go through 1,000 modules. The information is being provided. Don't try to finish everything. Learn, one, two tool very good. That's what I was telling someone else just recently. If you learn one tool, like for example, you learn how to use CrowdStrike, not only walking CrowdStrike, how to dance with CrowdStrike, how to, do this crazy whatever balances on CrowdStrike, then you're gonna be that specific, expert for that tool. So when you get to the interview, they ask you what is your benefit in our team. You're gonna be like, dude, I can dance on CrowdStrike. I can do anything you want. I can bring this value to the team, and you gotta hire me because I have this in me. So getting the basic knowledge for everything is good. Don't try to be expert in everything. Just learn, just a few things, but in an expert level.
I hope our students don't see this because while studying, we want to grind them. I was like, okay, there's nothing is optional, everything is mandatory.
No, I mean
We're gonna
that's a good, mindset to go with, because for me, I started from zero. I had no knowledge what a firewall is, right? So I want to be grinded about knowing the firewall. But to me, I don't want to know every, single thing about that firewall. I want to put my time. I learned that basic firewall information, but focus on something that I really like. Like, I like Splunk really much. And in my current role right now, when I started, we didn't use Splunk. We never had any log analysis. I went there. I was like, dude, I know Splunk. Let me help you. I created a new system with Splunk. I created dashboards. I created, so many new stuff. And now we are using Splunk every day. And they love me. They got me promoted, to the level 2 and to the senior level. And I just secure my place there. So yeah.
I mean, congratulations. Thank you for also being very nice, giving CYDEO so much credit. I think I always feel in this way, people, they find a job, they're decently, like, they're really, really decent people. They find a job and they're like, they're so grateful to CYDEO. They're like, oh, CYDEO helped me, provided information, support, hands-on experience, SOC, whatever. But one thing I wanna say is this, right? Imagine you sign up for a gym, right? You're paying, I don't know, $300 per month for the best one.
Wow.
I mean, you should not thank the gym for, like, it's not 100% gym's credit
Yeah.
that you build, like, really nice muscle, like, body. Like, it's you showing up and working out. I do believe that's like a kinda collaborative things. It's like marriage, right? If one side works, another side doesn't work, I mean, it's not gonna work out. I do believe, this collaboration between students and CYDEO, I think, is one of the most important thing, but you were the one, waking up at night, studying, coding, I don't know, like Splunk, CrowdStrike, joining the shifts. You could have watching Netflix and going to party, but you decided to invest in your time to make yourself better. I think that's the important part. So thank you for your commitment and dedication.
Oh, that's 100%. That was a very good example, the way you said it. I was up for the past few months. It was a total 6 months. The first 2 months, I would say yes, whatever, because I was just learning. But the last few months, I think I slept maybe like 4 hours every day, not more than that. I was studying about like 16 hours, just practicing interviews, going through every tool. I say don't learn everything, but I don't mean, just leave it behind. I mean, get the basic knowledge. So yes, I was being grinded. It's not like, yeah, I was chill inside here. I got a job like that. No, I had to put maximum effort, and I had to quit my job because I was going for a higher goal, because I literally didn't have any more time to study. I was like, I need to finish this. I need to get a job. So yeah, I left everything behind and, put my faith on that, put my faith on myself, I would say. Cydio helps a lot, but you have to believe yourself, to get past that kind of level.
Thank you so much. Congratulations again for your amazing career. I wish you all the best, and I hope this podcast was genuinely useful for people watching. Thank you, Mo.
Thank you.
Thank you.